this is Jenny from Homestead Corner, and we are overloaded with squash and zucchini. So today we're going to be freezing some up for fried squash for the winter. This is super simple, and we just love having fried squash handy in the winter time. We love to have it, and this is a great way to preserve it. So you just want to make sure your squash is nice and clean, and I use a mixture of the summer squash and zucchini because we have both, so I just use a mixture of them. And I'm just going to take my tops and tails off. You want to get that blossom end off, and I just toss those aside, and then I'm just going to slice this up, and yeah, 1/4 inch, right about 1/4 inch, a little smaller maybe, and that's it, the size you like for fried squash. And we're just going to keep going right through our zucchini and summer squash and get it all sliced up. Okay, when I get down to these really thin ends, I just keep these aside. I save these in the freezer, all these little thin ends for vegetable stock. They work wonderful. I just toss them in a gallon size bag, and when I get one filled up, that 1 gallon bag will make a full pot of vegetable stock. I love those. So now that we have this all sliced up and ready to go, now we are going to make our breading. Okay, so to get ready to bread it, I just got a cup of cornmeal here, and I'm going to add a cup of white flour, just regular all-purpose flour. And then I'm going to add, I like to add a little salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic and onion powder. So I'm going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of each for this amount. So that's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and this just gives it a little extra flavor. This is how we like it. You can add it or not. I like to add onion powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon of that. And it's not overpowering, but you can taste it in there, just enough. And a little shy on a 1/4 teaspoon of the garlic powder. And then we're just going to mix this all up, and this is going to be our breading base. Okay, and then we just have 3 eggs, and I'm going to put those in there, and we're just going to beat those, and this is going to be our egg wash, and we just want to get those nice and beaten together. Alright, so then we're just going to start breading these babies up. We're going to take them and just stick them in the egg wash. And I try to use a fork so my hands don't get too yucky, but they always get yucky anyway. So just drain a little of that off, put it over here, grab another. And we just mix these up, the zucchini and the squash. I think they taste the same. The only difference I can find in them is the yellow squash, the skin is just a tiny bit tougher than the zucchini. It's a little thicker. We just do a couple at a time here. Get on there. Put that right in the breading. And then we just toss these around in the breading. So they're nice and breaded. And put them right on a sheet. And I use parchment paper, but you certainly don't have to, but you definitely want to spray the pan because we're going to freeze it on this pan. We're going to flash freeze it. So it's going to go in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and these will stick like crazy if you don't. So I always use parchment paper if I have it on hand. If I don't, I just spray the pan really good and then you can scoop them off after. Kind of shake some of it. And you can put these nice and tight on the sheet. And we're just going to keep going until we have the entire sheet. So now we have these all coated. I'm going to take this whole pan and we're going to stick it right in the freezer. I'm going to start working on another pan, and I just keep loading them into the freezer. And you want this to stay in about 30 to 40 minutes. You want these to get nice and stiff, and then you can take them out of the freezer. Okay, so once these are all frozen up, these on the parchment paper, they lift, they stick a little bit, but not bad. You can lift them right up. If it's on the pan, you definitely want to spray it first, then you can scrape them up with a spatula. I just use a freezer bag, a gallon size, and I pre-label it because it's too hard to write on once I get stuff in it. And I'm just going to fill this up in here. And this way, where they're flash frozen, they won't stick together, and you can just grab out as many as you need, which is awesome. And you can definitely vacuum seal these, but these freezer bags are fine for 6 months in the freezer, and these are never going to last 6 months in there. We will definitely eat them before that. So I just fill them up, and then I can take as many as I want out for each meal. It's super easy to do, and it's great to have them all ready to go. And because your squash just are not going to last on the counter. And that's it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.